A very good evening. We are coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios right here in Colombo with Prime Time News. I'm Mahina Bongzo. Here's a look at your headlines for tonight.
President instructs state sector employees not to hinder public services under any circumstances. Attorney General submits to court that it lacks jurisdiction to hear FR petitions filed challenging President's decision to dissolve Parliament. Secretary of the Media Ministry and Chairman of SLBC summoned before the Speaker. JVP says they will not support Ranil Wickremesinghe to be Prime Minister. TNA says they will not support impeachment motion against the President. CDS Admiral Ravindra Vijay Gunaratne released on bail after being kept waiting 4 hours in the prison bus before the case.
President Maithripala Sirisena summoned a group of officials today for a discussion at the Presidential Secretariat.
Other development activities such as the Grama Shakti program should be strengthened amidst the prevailing political crisis in the country. It is essential for everyone to look into these matters and address its shortcomings. Those in charge of district-level activities must look into the matters in their respective districts. It is not only the officers in district secretariats that you must visit, but also the interior villages and inquire into the major problems the locals are facing. As mentioned, essential plant seeds can be distributed during the prevailing rainy season. It is your responsibility to ensure the suitable individual will receive these products without any inconveniences. We can raise ourselves from poverty with the blessings of Mother Nature.
Adding to the discussion held at the Presidential Secretariat today, President Maithripala Sirisena expressed the following views.
Ranil Wickremesinghe speaks of law and order. He tells us not to execute illegal practices. However, in my view, it is within the UNP that democracy is least practiced. He has been the leader of the UNP for 25 years. In 2010, there were no presidential candidates to represent the UNP, and therefore a candidate was sourced externally. Even in 2015, the UNP did not have any presidential candidate, and I represented all of them as a common candidate. In my view, Ranil Wickremesinghe is incapable of establishing an island-wide democratic framework that does not even exist in his own party. Democracy must first be established within one's own political party.
How will the Janata Vimukti Peramuna act during the current political crisis? Here's what JVP MP Dr. Nalinda Jayathisarada said.
We know how Ranil Wickremesinghe and Mahinda Rajapaksa arrived in Parliament during the morning hours and talked to each other in the corner of the library. Wickremesinghe is trying to convince Mahinda to give away the Prime Minister position by promising to save them from the court cases. But we cannot let conspiracies against the government to take place. We're at the forefront in defeating a conspiracy. Ranil Wickremesinghe is going around saying that he has the 122. He has also made promises and submitted petitions. He claims that he wants to be the Prime Minister. 122 MPs are not on Ranil Wickremesinghe's side. So far, 122 or 123 votes have been cast in Parliament to defeat the conspiracy 6 times. But the votes were not to reappoint Ranil Wickremesinghe as the Prime Minister. He might join with other parties and create the 113. But we are not sure about that. But I can assure you that the 6 JVP votes out of the 122 will not be used to appoint him as the Prime Minister.
The fundamental rights petitions filed against the dissolution of Parliament by the President were taken up for consideration for the 2nd consecutive day today.
The fundamental rights petitions filed challenging the proclamation issued by the President dissolving Parliament were taken up before a 7-member bench headed by the Chief Justice. Attorney General Geetha Jayasuriya President's Counsel made submissions before court and pointed out that the President had acted in his capacity as the head of state and therefore that his actions are not amenable to the Supreme Court under Article 126 of the Constitution. The Attorney General therefore pointed out that the petitioners have no lawful basis to challenge the legality of the proclamations made by the President and that the people's franchise should not be curtailed. He also noted that this is a situation where the head of state is exercising his powers with political considerations and queried as to whether the judges of the Supreme Court should be getting into political situations. The Attorney General stated that it is alleged that the President has violated the Constitution, and if that were so, the correct procedure would have been the passage of an impeachment motion in Parliament and for charges to then be presented to the Supreme Court, and not by way of a fundamental rights petition challenging the head of state's actions. The Attorney General further noted that if the President had violated the Constitution, the institution that can take action against him is Parliament. Following the AG's submissions, President's Counsel Sanjeev Vijay addressed court and pointed out that the President has the power to dissolve Parliament. He made a distinction between the Sinhala and English texts of the Constitution and observed that the Sinhala text prevails. The President's Counsel added that it is possible to read the provisions of the Constitution harmoniously and that the dissolution of Parliament by the President is legal. Parliamentarian Uday Gammanpila, Professor Channa Jayasumana and Attorney-at-Law Premanath Dolawatta and other intervenient parties to the petitions will make further submissions tomorrow.
The Attorney General and State Counsel Sanjeev Vijay used the Sinhala transcript of the Constitution to present their facts. The attorneys of the petitioners mostly used the English transcript to present their facts. To be honest, I'm fed up of this. We declared open 50 Udagammana projects and commenced work to construct 4 every day. But what has happened to those? They are using the law of the jungle to abuse power. Power is being used throughout the day. I think we have to get prepared to face this greed for power.
A date is yet to be fixed to examine the appeal filed yesterday by Mahinda Rajapaksa with the Supreme Court against the ruling of the appeal court, which issued an interim order restraining respondents from functioning as Prime Minister and other cabinet ministers.
The application claims the ruling of the Court of Appeal is illegal and it leads the country towards anarchy. We requested for the 5th and the 6th. The Chief Justice had ordered to request for a date after issuing the notices. Although we have made a request, our case will not be heard tomorrow. We have not been given a date yet.
Now the UMP decided to postpone the proposal which was initially planned to be presented in Parliament today.
The parliamentary session convened today under the patronage of Speaker Karu Jayasuriya. However, the UPFA boycotted today's session as well as the party leaders' meeting. Since the no-confidence motion had been passed, the UNP were prepared to present a proposal requesting the President to take necessary future steps. Honourable Speaker, upon your approval, I wish to revoke the proposal temporarily and present it on another day. I wish to present this on a different day. Maithripala said he does not have an issue with this no-confidence motion. Remove the first part and bring in the second one. What is the first part? It says the removal of the Prime Minister is illegal. The second part said the House has no confidence in Mahinda Rajapaksa and his cabinet. Several UNP MPs agreed to this. How was this no-confidence motion brought today? It was brought saying, since the first paragraph of the proposal presented on the 14th of November 2018 has been removed, how did that happen? From where did the proposal to remove the first paragraph of the no-confidence motion come from? It came from a deal. They agreed to the President's request. They are trying to present it again after removing the paragraph. But we say no. There is no need for that. It has been decided by the Court of Appeal. You have already agreed that this motion of no confidence is legal. Now, another motion of no confidence is being brought forward through the UNP against Mahinda Rajapaksa. Mahinda Rajapaksa should realize, at least now, he has been rendered helpless after being given the Prime Ministership.
Parliament was adjourned until 1 p.m. on the 12th of December. The Speaker had summoned the Secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media and the Chairman of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation to the Parliament today. They were summoned as a result of several facts that were brought out in Parliament today.
The SLBC is contractually bound to broadcast the proceedings of this House. But for several days now, the SLBC has stopped broadcasting the proceedings. They have violated the contracts.
සභාවේ කටයුතු විකාශනය කිරීම ශ්‍රී ලංකා ගුවන්විදුලි සංස්ථාව විසින් නතර කර තිබෙනවා. ඒ වගේම එකඟතා කඩ කරලා තිබෙනවා. අපට දැනගන්න ලැබිලා තිබෙනවා
මේ සභාපතිවරයා ඉතාමත්ම හිතුවක්කාර අන්දමට
I have seen that the chairman has been acting in an ad hoc manner. We have been broadcasting this through SLBC for a long time. We are paying them for this. He is acting without a reason that is understood. I will take action regarding this.
මෙයා කිරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන්ම වහාම පියවර ගන්න බම් මම දැනුවත් කිරීමට කැමැතිමි.
වැඩතහනමට ලක් වෙච්ච හිටපු අගමැති
Parliamentarian Mahinda Rajapaksa, the former Prime Minister who was suspended, is holding meetings demanding an election. There was an event organised at the Independence Square yesterday as well. ITN, which is a state channel, aired this during prime time from 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. This is a misuse of public funds. There should be an inquiry and we must find out as to who provided instructions to do this.
මේවා රාජ්‍ය මුදල් අවභාවිතාවක්. ඒ නිසා මේ උපදෙස් ලබා දුන්නු අය කවුද කියන එකත් හොයන්න ඕන. මේ පිළිබඳව පරීක්ෂණයක් කරන්න ඕන.
මම ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා.
I make a request that the Secretary to the Media Ministry be summoned before the next parliamentary session. Draw his attention to this matter and take steps. There is no time to wait until this matter is taken up at the Privilege Committee.
Thereby, the Secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media, Sunil Hettiarachchi, and Chairman of SLBC, Dr. Somaratna Dissanayake, was summoned before the Speaker. The Speaker's office said the Speaker pointed out the importance of working independently and responsibly during this time of political turbulence. The Secretary to the Media Ministry has said attention will be drawn towards the points that have been mentioned and that the instructions will be released to the state media institutions.
Parliamentarians representing the UPFA expressed these views.
න්‍යාය පත්‍රය පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ 27 වෙනිදා න්‍යාය පත්‍රය මොකක්ද කියන්නේ? පාර්ලිමේන්තුව මෙතනට නියමිත කටයුතු අංක 22 දරන පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ස්ථාවරණි.
Here is the agenda of Parliament for the 27th. What is the agenda for the 27th state? Standing Order 22 on parliamentary proceedings of the day. The Speaker has become such a person who supplies us with jokes and tries to legalize his actions in a very shameful manner. A party leaders meeting is called before the proceedings on the 27th. This is the list of the party leaders meeting. I don't know where they found this list. There is a group of about 15 to 20 on this list. There is only space for 12 on this. 22 have been summoned. I would like to say again that he has become someone who supplies us with jokes. Today he summoned the heads of media to Parliament at 12 noon because nothing was done in Parliament today. Parliament was convened to take up a special proposal. While all of this is there, he allows anyone to speak the way they want. All the parliamentarians are speaking. All of them spoke about regulating media. They were asking to put a stop to these actions of the media. So the Speaker has summoned the heads of media to Parliament. So that is their media freedom.
කතානායකවරයා මේ වෙලට නියෝගයක් දීලා තියෙනවා. මාධ්‍ය ප්‍රධානීන්ම කැඳවන්න පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට. ඉතින් ඒක තමයි ඔය කියන මාධ්‍ය නිදහස සහ
Although UPFA parliamentarians were not present in Parliament today, Kumar made a sudden visit to the Parliament.
මේ බැංකුවේ පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මේ මට මේ අර සල්ලි වගේක් ගන්න ඕනේ සල්ලි ටිකක් වුණා කියලා තියෙනවා. දැන් මම යනවා පොඩ්ඩක් මේකට. මම යනවා මේ බැංකුවට. මට තියෙනවා සල්ලි වගේක් ගන්න බැංකුවේ. මේ දවස්වල සල්ලි නෑ මේ හිඟ වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. හොඳයි. බැංකුවේ නෑ මම සභාගමෙන් යන්නේ. බැංකු මෙන්න මේ යන්නේ.
The parliamentarian on his way back spoke to the media. I am very saddened by this. Those who are responsible are turning a blind eye to this. You know that our president is one person and then there are two individuals and you know who they are. Those two also should be held responsible for the downfall of the country. The country had economic issues. Even during the tenure of the UNP, the economy collapsed. But I never thought that the country will come to such a state. I think this will go down in history.
මට ඉතින් ඒක ගැන විශ්වාසයක් නැහැ.
ඔබට ආරාධනාව නැද්ද එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයෙන්?
නෑ කවදාවත් නෑ.
ඔබට ආරාධනාව නැද්ද පොදු අපේක්ෂකයන්ට?
නෑ එහෙම තාම එහෙම අවස්ථාවක් නැහැ නේ ඉතින් කොහොමද?
ඔය එහෙම ආරාධනාවක් ආවොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ?
නෑ ඉතින් අපේ පැත්තෙන් ආරාධනාවක් ආවොත් මට පුළුවන් ඒ ගැන හිතන්න මහින්ද මහත්තයාගේ ආශිර්වාදයත් එක්ක.
Chief of Defence Staff Admiral Ravindra Vijay Gunaratne, who is in remand custody, has been released on 2 surety bails of 1 million rupees each. The order was issued by Fort Magistrate Ranga Dissanayake.
Chief of Defence Staff Vijay Gunaratne was arrested by the CID and remanded under charges of providing assistance to a naval officer involved in the abduction and forced disappearance of 11 youth to evade court. Fort Magistrate Ranga Dissanayake warned Admiral Vijay Gunaratne if it is revealed that he exerts his influence on the investigations or on the witnesses, bail will be revoked and he would be placed in remand custody until the trial is concluded. Court advised the accused to appear before the CID when summoned and provide statements and assist in the investigations into the incident. The magistrate expressed his displeasure over the investigations carried out by the Fort Police into the allegations that the Chief of Defence Staff Ravindra Vijay Gunaratne and his security detail threatened the chief witness of the case, Lieutenant Commander Laksiri Galagamage. The magistrate added that there was insufficient evidence to name him as a suspect in the case and ordered the Deputy Inspector General of Police of the Western Province to assign the investigation to another officer. Chief of Defence Staff Admiral Ravindra Vijay Gunaratne, who was brought into court in a prison bus today, was made to wait inside the bus for almost 4 hours before being produced before the magistrate. Prison spokesperson Tushara Upuldeniya said this was done with permission from court. While the charges against Chief of Defence Staff Vijay Gunaratne in court are purely a legal matter, he is still the highest ranking officer in the country's military. He is also the officer who commanded the Navy. When Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca was imprisoned, special security and a separate van was provided to bring him to court. Former MP Duminda Silva, who is on death row, was also brought to court recently in an ambulance. It should be noted that an admiral who holds the highest position in the Tri-Forces was made to wait in a bus for 4 hours at a time when he is only named as a suspect and not found guilty.
Transparency International Sri Lanka convened a media briefing this morning.
I hold in my hand here the order of the Right to Information Commission ordering the Presidential Secretariat to release the asset declaration of Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe. This emanates from a right to information request made in February of 2017 and has ordered the disclosure of that particular asset declaration from the Presidential Secretariat. Our commitment going forward now is to receive this asset disclosure from the Office of the President, and no sooner we receive that asset disclosure will we make it immediately publicly available for all of the public to read for themselves and share as they wish. We had filed requests for the declaration of assets and liabilities of both the President and the Prime Minister. The RTI Commission's decision has underscored the fact that the President, as the President, does not have to file an asset disclosure. They highlighted the fact that there was a gap in the law there, and they had suggested the necessary legal reform should take place to fill that gap. However, they felt that it was clear that the Prime Minister's asset declaration vesting in the Office of the President was clear and that that must be released.
Taking a look at a headline-making story this evening. The Tamil National Alliance, or the TNA, said today that they will not support an impeachment motion against the President. The TNA was responding to a statement being published on the social media platform. Meanwhile, the United People's Freedom Alliance expressed the following views.
The Tamil National Alliance said for a month that although they supported the no-confidence motion against the government, we will not support the UNP to appoint Ranil Wickremesinghe as the Prime Minister. But suddenly, the TNA changed their stance and said that they will support Ranil Wickremesinghe to show the majority of 113 for him to function as the Prime Minister. What is the agreement between the UNP and the TNA? The deal between the UNP and the TNA should be revealed to the country.
Former MP Geetha Kumar Singh expressed the following views during a protest staged in the town of Benthara today, demanding for elections to be held.
A so-called individual made a specific statement in Gaul. How can he make such a statement? Thieves are brought into this country and given keys to rob the central bank. I state with no fear that you were someone who were hated and rejected by the people. I was taken to courts over my dual citizenship. I will not say anything against President Chandrasena, and we thank him for making such a decision.
Sir, බොහොම ස්තුතියි අපිට කරපු වැඩේ හැබැයි ඒකෙත් පොඩි පොඩි කොහොම තියෙනවා වගේ දැනෙනවා. ඒ කොස්සේ අරලා දුන්න නම් තමයි බඩු හොඳ.
Public debate on whether parliamentary elections are needed to resolve the current political crisis began at the Vihara Mahadevi Park at 5 this evening. We now join Portia Hettiarachchi, who was at Vihara Mahadevi Park and filed this report.
A debate was organized to determine whether the country needs a presidential election or a parliamentary general election. As you can see behind me, the two teams comprising of professional individuals are debating on the pros and cons of the issue. The two teams are #LetMeVote and #PresidentialFirst. The Let Me Vote team consists of the members Manoj Gamage, Jahan Hamid, Arun Thambimuttu, Erandaginige. And the Presidential First team consists of NDW Zoysa, Horana Fernando, D. Singh and NK Ashok Baran. The debate commenced at 5 p.m. and for the Newsfirst team, I'm Portia Hettiarachchi.
Former Minister Chandrasena Vijay Singh expressed these views at a media briefing held in Gaul.
A person can say that they do not want to go for an election under the present Prime Minister. There are enough solutions for this as well. We have the possibility to bring an independent figure that everyone can accept. We have the option of appointing an independent person as the Prime Minister, form a caretaker government and go for a general election. We know that in some parties on their national lists, they have intellectuals who are not members of that party. The former Auditor General of this country, Maya Dunne, is there. They have the option to bring him into Parliament. Professor Kapila Pereira of the Muratua University is also on that list. Such intellectuals are on the national lists of these political parties. Bring such a person into Parliament.
The CA Sri Lanka's 54th Annual Report Awards was held yesterday in Colombo. The event was organized by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka under the patronage of the Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy.
Despite certainly it's got tougher. There is no doubt that this uncertainty that we've had over the last 6 weeks or so has had an impact, has complicated the challenges in terms of macroeconomic policy making and meeting our obligations. What has been interesting is that over the last few weeks to learn that right across the political spectrum there is a commitment to the macroeconomic framework which we have to stick to. Given our debt and deficit dynamics, there is very little room to maneuver.
Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy also attended a book launch ceremony held at the Institute of Policy Studies, organized by the CFA Society, Sri Lanka. The governor spoke about rating agencies downgrading Sri Lanka.
We think it's hasty because the underlying fundamentals have not changed. There have been no significant slippage in policy and the different indicators have not deteriorated in any material way. In my view, they should have waited till the court processes were completed.
Speaking on our Newsline program this morning, United National Party parliamentarian Horana Fernando commented about the party leadership.
2 times the Prime Minister, 2 times the President, doesn't mean that he needs another mandate one more time, which clearly will signifies that he will go on a witch hunt, and that would not be the best interest of the country. So therefore I think it is time that we have that culture instilled us, that we do our terms, we move on, and we let fresh leaders emerge. And unfortunately Sri Lanka does not have that culture. Nobody wants to let go of power. It's high time. Like in New Zealand, you have a Prime Minister of 38 years, you have a Prime Minister in France who's very young, about 44.
Yeah.
And we even saw people like David Cameron, Barack Obama, all of them were very successful when they're young.
What about Sajid Premadasa?
I think he's a fantastic guy who has been working a lot since I've lived. I mean, I got to know him in 2008. I think it was about a very good 10 years.
Allianz Platinum Awards 2018.
ඇත්තටම ලෝකෙ පවතින්නේ කලාව, ක්‍රීඩාව, විද්‍යාව මත.
The world is revolving around sports, science and art. I'm actually very happy that there's something done like this for sports. Because the sportsmen and women have worked hard to bring glory to the country. This is something that should be done with state sponsors. But a private organization has come forward to do it, and it is a great deed. I wish you all the very best.
ඇත්තටම ඉතාමත් හොඳ දෙයක්. මේක වෙනම රාජ්‍ය අනුග්‍රහයකින් කෙරෙන්න ඕන දෙයක්. මෙවැනි පෞද්ගලික ආයතනයකින් කෙරෙනවා. ඒක විශිෂ්ට දෙයක්. මුළු හදවතින්ම සුබ පතනවා.
Sports First Allianz Platinum Awards 2018.
And that's a wrap from all of us here. And that's a wrap from all of us here at the News First English News Desk. It was a pleasure having you with us here as always. I'm Mahina Bongzo. Take care and good night.